I'll meet you on the shores of infinity. This track has a steel tongue drum loop in it. And the steel tongue drum is not an instrument that I use very often, but I used it quite a lot a few years ago. And there's some steel tongue drum loops on my last EP, Past Future. So I took this loop from an older session, probably recorded in 2021, I would guess. And that unique sound of that steel tongue drum really, it brings me back to Past Future, which was kind of a conceptual piece about time, and that sound and this track to me kind of feels like a link between those two EPs. Whether you want to say they happen in the same kind of world, there's a connection there that I think this track kind of helps to form, even though I don't think overall it doesn't sound like it would fit on that release, but there's sort of a recollection about it. It feels kind of familiar, I think, but also unfamiliar. In terms of the overall story, the kind of narrative of this EP, at this point, I feel like we've entered the fog, we've gotten our bearings about us, and this piece just feels like exploring. I had it in mind in this kind of fog world that maybe there's, some way to connect with other people. Maybe time doesn't work in the same way in this place. And maybe there's some ocean that each wave brings something new and different, but it's all part of the same big ocean. And the sound that you can hear, obviously we've got some waves coming in. Those would have been recorded here at the Monterey Bay. If I had to guess, thinking about the recording sessions I've done, it was probably recorded on a very foggy day, which is often the case around here. This is a bit of a longer track that has less change going on. The previous track, Where Are You Now, kind of starts minor and then does the shift. This feels more like a meditation. This feels a little more calm, still hazy, but this is probably the most tranquil piece on the album. I think it's got a nice selection of textures going on, and this is a piece that feels very, very calm, like you really kind of settled into this dream state and you can just let it wash over you. So this has been I'll Meet You on the Shores of Infinity. Stop back tomorrow for There's No End in Sight.